do at this juncture is invite you, my love, to come back up, and I'm going to ask you some questions together, okay? So we've spoken a lot today about the journalistic process. I'm sure there's some in here who might be interested in sharing something and putting it down. What is the process like? I'll start out with you. What gets you to the point where you can put pen to paper?
Really listening to the internal voice. Oftentimes we tend to dismiss that internal voice inside of us that is encouraging us, prompting us to do something. Again, as I mentioned, journaling is important. I promise you, every one of you have a story inside you that just needs to come out. And you have jotted it down on a sticky, a notepad, a journal, something at some point. And when we get bogged down with the big picture, and I usually often in education I tell students, don't look at the whole pie, look at the slice, take a slice of the pie. So if you were interested in authoring your own book, again, you have a story in you. Take a chapter, write a paragraph, jot some notes, not even incomplete sentences. Yeah, we educated, I know, we educated, I know that. But jot some incomplete sentences. But begin to listen to that internal voice and know that it wants to come out. It wants to come out. And it's waiting on you to action.
Action.
Despite the distraction.
So same question for you, Stacey.
So I will just build on what Dr. V said, and if you want to write, write. Every day, make a discipline of 15 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour, whatever you can incorporate into your day to start writing, and to do it the way she explained. If it's bullet form, if it's paragraph, however you write, just start writing down the thoughts that you want to actually put pen to paper. My aunt is actually, I gave her that assignment. She said she wanted to tell a story and she was inspired by watching her niece do this work. I said, well, Auntie, let's get it done. Like, what are we waiting for? Just start writing. And if you don't like to write, everyone has a smartphone. As my Jamaican father would say, now make the smartphone, make it turn stupid. Use the smartphone and record yourself and use the apps that take your words and put it into writing. And that way you can start chapter by chapter, paragraph by paragraph, you start creating your narrative. And then you give it to the experts to edit, because as wonderful as you think you can write, an editor will jack it all up by the time you get to that process. You have to be okay with that, because it's just a part of creating a book for the reader, not for what you want it to sound like, but what for the reader needs in order to go through your book in story format. So just commit. If you want to write, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever you can commit to per day or per week, just keep it in a journal, in a physical book, or on a digital format that you can save and resave and put it on a flash drive. And make sure that you have all of your information, and that helps you get the process started. Because sometimes the title will come to you before you write, sometimes the title will come after the book is finished. And what you think will be the title, somebody else will give you another suggestion. And then there are layers. Once the edited manuscript is ready to go, it goes through 3-4 edits, because there's grammatical edits, there's, the reading edit, there's line edits, so there's multiple edits that you go through, and then you have to develop a cover, then you have to decide, are you going to self-publish, or are you going to try to shop around for a publishing deal? So there are different layers to the process, but it first starts with you writing. When people say they want to write, I'm like, how much do you write a day? If they want to speak, are you speaking? You can start in the library. You can start speaking at church. Like, if there are things that you want to do, just start doing it. And you perfect it along the way.
Let's talk about ego. And let's talk about keeping your ego out of the editing process. Let's talk about, as a creative entity, not getting in your own way when somebody's trying to help you. So let's talk about ego in editing.
Release. As Dr. Stacey just mentioned, it's not about either one of us. Both these books, yes, our names may be on it, but it's not about either one of us. She said her cousin said she's going to commit suicide. I know the women in these stories have been empowered. It's really the release. Like, I consider myself to be the vessel that's why I say the word release, that this project has come through. There was times with the editor, I was like, no, leave that. And they're like, no. And again, it's having those people, those friends in your corner that can check you and say, this is not the best thing for this project. This is not the best thing for your book. When they can see your vision, they can help you birth your vision even further. And so, release. It's the release. I really understand that it's not about me. Again, this took 8 years. So I know it wasn't about me. There was an assignment from God that said somebody else needed to get this, and they're not going to get the help, the encouragement, the empowerment that they need until you do what you have to do. It was a matter of release.
Absolutely. Somebody sitting here is the aspirin for someone else's headache. So ego is edging God out of the process, right? We talk about edging God out, but it got deeper for me now. So you asked that question, I said, really, we doing this right now, Jesus? We doing this? Because I just had a conversation about ego when it relates to grinding. Like we get into those who are entrepreneurs or entrepreneurs, and we talk about the grind and team no sleep, and you gotta do it and go hard and go home. There's work to do, and you have to do work to get results. But with ego, what happens, that grind, you start in your mind thinking that you're doing it. But if you're walking according to alignment with your divine purpose, it's not hustle and grind, it's ease and flow when it's happening God's way. So that has been something resting on me for this 2020, and I've been sharing it, and there's just more downloads coming to it, that anything we start inserting ourselves in and interrupting the process, we're making it more difficult for ourselves. Because ease and flow doesn't mean that you don't have hard work, but ease and flow means the door's open, the opportunities happen, the book starts to move to completion because you're walking in alignment with your divine assignment, and you're not interrupting the people along the way that have been put there to help you manifest.
Like the editor.
And that editor is your best friend.
Right. Okay.
Think of it this way, as you were just talking about, came to me with a river. Water doesn't fight to be water. It just flows. There's rocks that it goes over, bridges that it goes under, but it just flows. It knows where it needs to go, when it needs to go, how it's going to get there, so on and so forth. It's the process.
That's a wonderful
And it will-
visual.
Yeah.
That's a wonderful visual. I like that very much. Now, let's talk about 2020 vision. I feel a lot of energy around this new decade. I have a wonderful perspective about it. I think it's a time that we can have some positive change. And both of these manuscripts are full of positive lessons. So what is your 2020 vision for your next piece of work?
Oh, I am so excited about 2020 because I believe there are seasons and timing that happens in our life, and if we don't get it right in that season, it can delay, not deny, but it can delay certain movement. And I feel the last decade was a decade of preparation.
Amen.
And 2020 is a decade of actual manifestation.
I agree.
So in the manifestation of ease and flow, I'm excited about this ecosystem that God has been able to allow me to curate with faithpreneurs, and expanding this movement of faith-based entrepreneurs with a fidelity to God in organizing, managing, and operating their businesses, and faith-based professionals looking to add another stream of income to their personal economy, knowing that retirement might not look the way they thought it would look years ago. And creating this ecosystem of individuals that need to scale their relationships, their resources, and their revenue. So our Faithpreneur Weekend is the 3rd year because it's my way of continuing the grandma's legacy. So the book was the first year she left us. The 2nd year she would have turned 100. We did a virtual birthday celebration for her in heaven, talking about legacy and family. And the 3rd year I launched Faithpreneur Weekend. And that was an opportunity for me to solidify the service to individuals who are not ashamed to say, I believe God is real and His word is true. I can't tell people what to do, but everybody else can talk about their cray-cray. I can talk about my God. And create a family and a community of people who believe the same thing. That we're all works in progress. I'm so far from perfect. I have made so many, I call them interesting life curves instead of, just mistakes. Interesting life curves. But you bounce back from each one. And this 2020 is taking this is our third conference, taking this movement to a whole nother level, where we're recycling dollars, where we're honoring people's gifts and stop asking for the homie hookup. That if somebody has a gift or service or a product, you pay for it.
That's right.
And you understand that that's how they take care of themselves, and it's okay to talk about faith and finance, that God didn't call us the head and not the tail, and then we're living below the tail. Like, we have to really have different conversations. So I'm fired up about this faithpreneur movement expanding in this decade to leave a legacy, because ultimately we want to scale the relationships, resources, and revenue to create profitable and sustainable legacies. My son, my youngest one, is in the back of the room working with the production team today, and my husband. Yes, we keeping money in the family, right? I have my own production team that follows me, and my young son started as a DJ at 13. He got hired by the mayor of New York City 2 years in a row for the West Indian Day Parade. So it's about not just talking about it, stand up doing it. That's my baby. He's only 16. Pray for me. We can't feed him enough. It's just a lot going on. And my oldest went to the real HU, but he came back home to finish up some things. But it's about creating an environment where we can have those conversations. How are we scaling relationships and collaboration? How are we scaling the resources to use technology to help us go to the next level? And how are we producing real revenue? For years in my business, I kept giving things away.
Yes, yes.
Giving people discounts before they asked for it. And not honoring the fact that the gift that I received was so that someone could compensate. The widower and the oil,
Amen.
she thought it was over.
Right.
But she had to use what she had.
Right.
And she had to borrow to get the vessels to fill, and then she paid back her debt and had nothing else to worry about. Ooh, that was a word that was preached last year at Faithpreneur Weekend. And that is what 2020 is for me. I want to be that vessel and that vehicle to bring all of these brilliant minds together, to do it standing in our faith, to be profitable, and to leave more than debt and drama when we leave this planet.
Right. Amen.
2020 vision for me is declaration. Declaration. On the Hebrew calendar, the letter that coincides with mouth is pay. And a lot of us, because it's 2020 and 2020 vision, so we're hooked onto the vision, which is fine. But the vision starts as a seed. It starts as a seed. And so for me, it's taking that seed and having people declare whatever that seed is. I have had the opportunity for years to plant seeds in individuals and not see. And I have to be okay, I have to release, because I want to know what happened to the person, how did this work? But being okay with the release, that I'm just being able to open up the doors of seeds of opportunity for other people and have them declare, truly declare what it is that they want. Write the vision and make it plain. Once you make it plain, you have to speak it. As Dr. Stacy said, God spoke, let there be, and there was. Be very mindful of the language and just teaching people to be intentional in their language, planting those seeds, because once we look at an oak tree is one seed. Take it biblical. The seed has the faith of a mustard seed. And what can come out of that? What can be moved by that? Planting those seeds that will grow, that will leave a legacy, that individuals can leave this earth and say, I'm okay because I'm dying empty. Because I've left everything out there for family, for friends, that they can continue and having that seed move forward. Declaring what you want and moving that.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, with that, I am going to turn the day back over to my lovely Link sisters here. And I just want to take this moment to tell you how humbled and honored I was to be here with you this afternoon. And I want to thank these two lovely ladies. Thank you.
Wow, that's all I can say. It's just wow. I want everyone to just take a deep breath in. Oh, I'm going to get there. Take a deep breath in and take a deep breath out. I am Denise Williams, the VP of Programs of the Greater Hudson Valley chapter of the Links. And I just want to say, first of all, we're in the room of two brilliant doctors. How often do you spend an afternoon with brilliance like this? Dr. Baroni Lawrence and Dr. Stacy Grant. We are so incredibly pleased and humbled that you are sharing your wisdom with us. This is a new decade, and I don't know about you guys, but I've come into this decade not really sure of where we're going. With all of the things that are going on right now in this country, in this world, for our people, for our children, we were blessed today to have wisdom put upon us and been, oh, hello, well, I got street voice, oh, here we go. We were blessed to have, I've got street voice. We were blessed to have you join us and take us into this new decade, 2020, with wisdom, authenticity, truth, sharing your experiences. I don't know, I came here on the low side today and I got really high energy. You have lifted our spirits and I hope they have lifted your spirits. I can take in enough, and I can't remember that much anymore given my age, so I will really have to buy the books to be reaffirmed every day with what you have given us as a blessing of yourselves to us. I also want to thank Anna. Wow. Wow, wow. We have to put you on TV. We have to take you around in the pocket. My fellow Link sister, we really, really, really want to say thank you. You have brought this to life in your style, in your way, and it has been with grace, with beauty, with purpose, and we love you. We want to say thank you. I also want to thank the chapter for all of those who are here. Most of them are in green and tams. Beautiful gifts from our wonderful leader, Robin Williams, who is just amazing. And let us lift ourselves up and open-minded to what we have to offer. We are a chapter that's focused on healthy living and healthy lifestyles, and part of our series was also to make sure we're empowered mentally and spiritually. So you have taken part of our author series, which is annual, so we hope to see you here next year. And to lift our spirits. We carry a lot of weight as Black women and as Black men in today's society. So we just wanted to make sure that you had some words of wisdom, some lessons learned that can lighten your load, lighten your way, and inspire you and make you spiritually rich. That's what we're about. I have one last thing. I know, I'm getting there. I also want to thank Lolita. She is brilliant, brilliant, brilliant Art Facet Chair to bring these lovely, talented, smart women here today. So we want to say thank you very much. Before we, and Janice, and the arts, anybody who sits on the art facet, can you just stand up so I don't miss anything here? This is the work of art. One other fellow chapter member who had to leave, Helen Williams, who was instrumental in exposing us to this wonderful venue today, so we want to say thank you. I have to close by saying it is important that we vote. It's important that every Black person, 18 years old to grandma, great-grandma, votes. So we are passing out Black Must Vote. Please wear, Black Vote Must Vote, I'm sorry. Black Vote Must Vote. Sorry, I can't see, losing my eyes as well. We will be passing them out on your way out. Please spread the word. This is the year by which the vote, our vote matters. Our vote matters. And then lastly, I have to also plug the census.
Yes, it's this year.
I just have to plug the census because it is important that not only our vote matters, who we are in the United States, in every community, matters. So please spread the word. It is important for our young people to be counted and those senior citizens to be counted. Because if we're not counted, we lose seats. We lose congressional seats that can influence the shape and the change of the world. With that, I want to bring up Felita and our President Robin to make presentations to our wonderful authors.
You were in the right place at the right time with the right people, correct? Yes. So please take that something that you learned today and share it with your chapters, with your family members, with your church. And Felita is going to make the first presentation.
Dr. Veroni Lawrence is a friend and my line sister. I'm really proud of her. She's grown. She's grown tremendously, but really extremely. We just put the green on. Feeling how you're growing and what you're imparting to all of us every day in your walk. And may God continue to bless you. And this is from the Greater Hudson Valley, New York chapter. Just thanking you for being an author at our author series today. Thank you so much.
I just want to say one quick thing. I would be remiss if I did not mention, yes, she said she's my line sister, but your lit sister was one of the reviewers of this book. Who pushed me, she's on the back of here, she just gets her credit, but she pushed me and she encouraged me to have this book come forward, so she was part of the birthing process.
Dr. Stacy Grant, also a friend. My sister's sorority sister-in-law rather. Thank you for being a part. I mean, finer woman, you are. You are. Amazing.
Anna Maria, can you please join us up here?
Thank you.
So Anna Maria earlier said, oh, you know, I love flowers. Well, God gives us what we want and what we need. You just never know when you're going to get it. I work on the area arts with Anna Maria, and what I love about her is her answer is always yes. When I first called, I said, you know, my chapter's doing an author series. Do you think you can come and be the facilitator? Sure. She didn't know the day, the time. She's like, sure, honey, sure. And then, you know, she just makes you feel wonderful. And I thank you. Working with you under your leadership has been amazing. And today, everybody else knows just how amazing you are. And you can't give the person who gets flowers flowers. So I wanted Felita to come up, and this is just a little something to say, you know, even when she's like, I got this going on, that going on, that going on, but I will get it done, and you know those people who you call because you know they'll get it done. So this is a little something that's without Okay, now I am going to ask that everyone please stand and hold hands.